other places, it's simply amazing to see how a man that unapologetically African could be humble enough to tolerate the racism of America's universities and still come out an unadulterated African, which is something that is very difficult today. I see so many of us go through that higher education process and lose who we were on the way in. I've lost so many of my high school mates through that process. I lost so many of my undergraduate mates through that process. I lost so many brothers and sisters working on my master's degrees. I saw them come in as unapologetically African and they left out all but European. That processing machine. Whenever you hear black folks say, "I'm for everybody," that's just a politically correct statement. And why is it we can't just fight for the black? Because we were conditioned to hate the black. See, the reason you need white folks in your struggle is because you don't see black folk worth struggling for. We'll fight to save dogs, and we'll fight to save birds, and we'll fight to save children of every other people. But when it comes to our own babies, we have nothing but contempt for those ebony faces. Brothers and sisters, our loyalty must be for self. If you cannot be for you, then you should not find time to be for anyone else. A mother may love all the children in the neighborhood, but there's a special kind of love that she has for the ones she gave birth to. A preacher might love everyone in the congregation, but there's a certain type of love that he or she reserves for the ones that they were born with and for whom they birthed. So there's no such thing as a love that doesn't start with yourself. I am not looking for conscious people, because in my experience, the conscious people cause more trouble than the unconscious people. I'm not looking for them. Conscious people are full of more games and jokes than the ones who are not. I'm not looking for them. We ain't got to agree on what to call ourselves. We'll never solve that, and I'm not even trying to solve it. I'm simply saying respect what the other person chooses to call themselves and keep it moving. I'm looking for the common sense community.
There you go.
Have you ever found that one? This is the community of black folk who may know, may not know, but they got the common sense to know that we got to do something about where we are. Have you ever met some of them before? Absolute truth, the ego never wants to admit it's wrong. That means that the one with the theory ain't trying to test it, because if it gets tested and proved to be wrong, his ego gets shattered. Reasons why those of us who claim to be conscious are the least likely to do the damn work, because the work will reveal the shortcomings in your thinking. I'm just being honest about it. The conscious community folk, they ain't gonna do no damn work, they just want to talk. No different than people in church. Talk. Okay? The workers are not the learned. The workers have never been the learned. They have been the courageous masses. Because it's the masses who make the history anyway. It may be the thinkers who lead it, but it's the masses who make it. Name me a revolution that succeeded without the people. There's never been one, and there never will be. So in 2015, in honor of Dr. Khaled, I'm looking for the workers, not the philosophers. I'm looking for the workers, not the ideologues. I'm looking for the workers, not the rhetoricians, but the workers. And in order for us to get to where we need to be as a race, we're going to have to do what? Raise up our babies in the right fashion. I think we spend too much time saving grown people. Direct our focus, brothers and sisters, so that 70% of our time and energy goes to those below the age of 25 years old. You on the right, people attacking you on the left, people wanting your position, people wanting this, people mad because you won't let them use you, people who... Talk about it. Sometimes you just say, you know what, I'm going to stand up and crush this maggot. But you got to be humble and say, wait, you got little ones looking up at you. If you do it that way, is that example you want them to follow. Because if you do it that way, when they're your age, and they do it the same way, who are you to correct them? Who are you to rebuke them? They follow your example. And that's the next thing about black leadership. Your example must be more powerful than your words and your reputation. This is hard. That means you're not allowed to serve your ego. You're not even allowed to serve your own agenda. Marcus Garvey said, in order to be an effective leader, you got to be exactly what the people need, not what you want to be. That can be hard. I gotta be what the people need me to be, not what I want to be. That means the organization cannot be a psychological strategy for me to cope with unfulfilled needs and issues from my family of origin. There's a book out. It's called The Psychopathology of Leadership. It talks about white leaders. And it talks about how so many of America's great white leaders only got into organization because they had unfulfilled issues from childhood that they thought they can work out through the organization. Are y'all listening to me? This is why you got to be very circumspect of the people you organize with and very circumspect of the organizations you join, because you have to make sure that somebody not using you as their own psychological crutch. I'm just being real here. And this is for the revolutionary group. It's for the fraternity. It's for the church. It don't matter what your ideology is. Mental illness is mental illness. It don't matter what the label on it. This was my question. I said, let me make it real simple for why the youth don't listen to us. Because they can see clearly that we are scared of white people. How can the children follow a scary adulthood? Do you realize why our kids get in trouble so much in public school? It's because the child has not yet been taught to lie. A child doesn't know anything about being political and politically correct. When a white teacher disrespects a black boy, he reacts as a man should. But mommy and daddy say, wait a minute, son, you can't do that. Why, mommy? She was wrong, but she's white. And you're not allowed to do that to white people. I'm giving it to y'all real. So the reason the youth will never come to most churches, the reason the youth will never come to most black revolutionary groups is because they know the adults in there, no matter how learned you may be, are scared of your oppressor. And they are not. And as long as we are scared of white folks, the youth will never listen to us. They are the solution. They are not the problem, because you have the knowledge, but they have the courage. You got into leadership because you want to get rich. You got into leadership to make a name for yourself. A true leader will never have the true name for himself. A true leader don't make money, he gives it. The word leader should be synonymous with sacrifice, because that's all you do. And for my brothers out there, you trying to get with a revolutionary queen, if that's a leader, you make sure you be the man she needs beside her. And you sisters out there who want to be with the revolutionary brothers, you make sure you be the queen that that man needs. It's easy to be with a Dr. Umar with my 6 degrees getting paid. What about when the white man take it all? And we got to survive off beans and rice. Am I still as attractive as I was then?
He lost weight then.
Everything? No, not really. I want to leave y'all with this, brothers and sisters. I want y'all to mark your calendars June 5th through the 7th. National Black Theater. I'm going to be hosting the first annual Dr. Umar Johnson Conference. It's going to be 3 days. And it's going to be a lot of planning, a lot of discussion, a lot of prioritizing. We're going to have it for sisters only, for the women to do their thing. They got to come together and have that conversation. They got to talk about the state of the black sisterhood, because it is not a good one. Okay? Behind all that shea butter, y'all got some issues. And the brothers, we want to have it for brothers only so we can work it out. And then I'm going to have it for youth only. I want to get the teenagers in the room. And talk to them about what they doing with their damn self. Turn off that iPod and turn off basketball wives and let's talk about you. And then I want to have a college students only as well. I want to get all my college students in the same room and see what we can do together. All these formerly trained minds of black folk, make sure we get them before the bourgeoisie gets them. So it's going to be the whole weekend. We're going to have some fun stuff. There will be vendors, the whole nine, some entertainment. So mark your calendars, June 5th through the 7th.
Thank you.
For those of y'all who want to send in donations to help me with the fundraiser, please do. Make your check or money order payable to FDMG Academy. Send it to P.O. Box 6872, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19132. If you didn't catch that, it's on my website, drumarjohnson.com, drumarjohnsonschool.com, drumarhbcutours.com. Brothers and sisters, there was a lot of attacks coming at me about the school fundraiser. Somebody put up 2 new videos today. People make their whole life about me these days.
Crazy.
But I'm saying all that to say we got to stay focused.
That's right.
Okay, we're going to get to school, brothers and sisters. It might not be St. Paul's. It might be the one in Mississippi. It might not be the one in Mississippi. It might be the one in West Africa. But we will have that Fred Douglass Marcus Garvey School if it kills me, brothers and sisters. It is coming. It is coming. It is coming. Let me give you my phone number in case any of you ever got to reach me. What's going on tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning, 6 to 8, what do I do every Tuesday? I have the Dr. Umar Black Parent Teleconference. If you have any questions about your sons or your daughters, special ed, ADHD, mental giftedness, school suspension, expulsion, you name it, I will answer it. It's tomorrow and it is free. Every Tuesday, 6 to 8 Eastern Time. That's your opportunity to ask me any question you need answered about your babies. If you need the phone number for tomorrow morning's call, text my cell and I will give you the number. My cell number is 215. Hey. Brother D. 989-9858. I repeat, 215-989-9858. One more time, 215-989-9858. Black College Tour, I'm looking forward to it. New York City will be a pickup. Kansas City will be a pickup. Kansas City, Kansas. New Orleans. Those who profess to favor freedom and deprecate agitation are like men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want the rain but can't stand the thunder or the lightning. They want the ocean but scared to deal with the awful roar of its waters. He said the struggle we as African people are having, it might be physical or it might be moral or it might be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. He said find out what any people will submit to, and you have found the exact measure of injustice that will be used against them. He said, we determine how poorly our oppressors treat us, not the oppressor. He said, for 20 years I prayed on my knees to God for freedom, but the good Lord gave Frederick no freedom until I got up off my knees and started praying with my feet. He said, if you want respect, why are you looking for pity? The man who respects you will never have to pity you, and the man who pities you will have no respect. He said you might not get everything you pay for, but you must pay for each and everything you get, and the oppression we suffer will continue until it is resisted with words or with blows or with both. But power never has and never will concede nothing without struggle, brothers and sisters. I want to call on my ancestor, Father Bailey, the first of the family brought here in 1701. I want to call on his wife, Grandma Selah. I want to call on their daughter, Grandma Jenny, 1745. I want to call on Grandma Betsy Bailey, 1774. Grandpa Isaac. I want to call on my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, young Betsy Bailey, who was so deep in the Mississippi, never to be sore by her son again. My great-great-great-great-grandfather, Stephen Henry Bailey. I want to call on Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey, my great-great-great-great-granduncle, greatest black leader of the 19th century, who paved the way for every leader you name. I want to call on his wife, blue, black, purple, nappy-headed, beautiful Anna Murray Douglas. I want to call on their children, cousin Rosetta, Frederick Jr., Charles. I want to call on my grandma, Caroline, great-great-great-grandpa George Washington Bailey, first black public school teacher in Talbot County, Maryland. His wife, Grandma Annie. I want to call on my great-great-great-great-grand-uncle Bishop Alexander Wayman of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I want to call on Grandma Caroline, Grandma Vivian, Grandpa Cicero, and all my Cuban ancestors. I want to call on Grandpa James Johnson and all my Johnson ancestors from the Deep South. I want to call on great-great-grandma Gertrude and great-great-grandpa Charlie Butler and all my Butler ancestors from the Deep South of Georgia. I want to call on great-grandma Curly, great-grandpa Robert Shoemaker, great-great-grandpa Robert Shoemaker Sr., and great-great-grandma Emma Hollinger, great-great-grandma Delia Pratt, great-great-grandpa Isaac Johnson, great-grandma Eileen Johnson, great-grandpa William Thomas Tillman Sr., William Thomas Tillman Jr., Uncle Billy. I want to call on my Uncle Eric. I want to call on my Uncle Clifford. I want to call on my little cousin Nancy who died in the swimming pool. I want to call on Dr. Leophis Shakespeare King, Baba Taharka, my elder in college. Without him, I would have never got my doctorate degree. He saw me through till I defended my dissertation, and then he died within weeks later. Would have never got it without that black man. I want to call on Clifford Howard, my best friend who died years ago. I want to call on Reverend Dave Devlin of Philadelphia, my Garveyard elder, he'll be buried last spring. I want to call on all of my Agoon from Garvey to Sojourner Drew to Harriet Tubman to Fannie Lou Hamer. Help me out, brothers and sisters. Who do you call? Give me the names. 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 Brothers and sisters, there's research that shows that the DNA within your body affects your consciousness. That means our ancestors are not dead. They are swimming in the pool of blood in your veins. How dare you not call on them? That's the unseen force that we got to tap into. We got a lot of religion. But how long will it take for us to venerate our own damn ancestors? Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I love you, New York City. Much love, New York City. And I'll see you guys back on the other side if you need to talk to me. Peace and love. Who's going to give me everything, but who don't expect me to contribute to the situation as well. Mothers, be careful how you spoil your sons. Some of you are crippling those boys. Some of you are making your sons into the exact type of man that you claim you don't like. Brother said amen to that.